Welcome to Darker Days Radio Twitch channel, and we are playing Never. You can't see it 'cause my face is in the way. There we go. Never Going Home, a RPG set in a weird War One scenario, environment by Wetting Games. We are playing this as a what's the word? Charity game for the Badahana group. For Save Against Fear 2021. The Badana Group does a lot of great work using roleplay games as a way of teaching or counselling for both children, teenagers, and adults. They do a lot of great work. And there is a link in the channel right now that says where to donate. You can see at the bar you can donate to us, so that's great. Running this game, obviously I'm Chris, one of the regular hosts of Darker Days Radio. Running this game is another host of Darker Days, is Crystal, who is also written for Never Going Home, and we're joined as always by Mike.
Hey.
We're joined by James. We're joined by Ben.
Hey everyone.
And we're joined by Rob.
Hello there.
Right, with introductions out of the way, we are ready to go.
All right. Hello everyone. Welcome to Never Going Home. Never Going Home is a World War One scenario where a lot of weird things start happening and nobody knows exactly what it is. It is Cthulhu-esque in nature. Your enemies are not exactly who you started out against in the war. So it is a wonderful, very quick, simple system. I have adjusted it just a little bit for our stream, just to kind of make it so it's a little bit more fun to watch overall. So if you do see stuff that doesn't quite follow the mechanics for the base book, it is, all the players have said that it is okay, and so we are going to do that for this stream. A couple of things, because this is a wartime scenario. First of all, please, as people and viewers that are watching this, please take care of yourself first. If this is too intense or something that you are not interested in, you will not hurt our feelings if you do not watch this or do not want to give us views or anything like that. Please take care of yourself. There are other ways that you can support the Bodhana group. There are many other actual plays going on. There's a lot of workshops and panels that are also going on. Please visit their website and you can support them in that way. Also, players have the option to X out. I'm using the black card for our scenario. Should anything become overwhelmed, they have a symbol that they're going to show me, and then we are just going to move on. So that is for the safety of the players as well as my own safety. I'm not going to storytell anything that I don't want to see. So from there, we are actually going before the start of World War I. Our scenario actually falls within the time frame of the Russian Revolution. We are starting on the Russian front. Let me pull it up. In June of 1916. We are on the Eastern Front of the Russian Empire. And the attempt of regain control over that area has not made any headway one way or another with either sides. They are at a stalemate. Our players find themselves in the midst of this battle with chaos reigning around them, trying to find some sort of escape or relief from the days that they have been fighting. So I'm going to have everybody introduce their characters real quick before we start. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first. So I'll be playing as Dmitri. He is the mechanic of the group, And as a point of clarification, Crystal, do we currently have like a truck or any kind of vehicle or mechanical device that I'd be working with?
You would probably be trying to repair something that has been damaged.
Gosh, okay. Hopefully, we can get some wheels back onto this wagon or something. Um, and should I share my what my character left behind?
You can share whatever you would like.
All right. Well, it's been a brutal war, absolutely terrible. And what Dimitri always comes back to thinking about is it's his dog. You know, his family barely even said goodbye to him as the conscription truck pulled away, but that dog was just looking at him, staring. And Dimitri knows that the dog is always out there at the old homestead, looking out, hoping that he'll return. But Dimitri's afraid that he probably won't return.
All right. Who would like to go next?
I can go next. So I'm playing Sasha Bolotin. I am the group's sharpshooter. Sasha is a young woman from the sort of conglomerate nations that form the USSR at this sort of time, and sort of joined up to be part of the sharpshooter sniper teams that formed at that time. She left behind a mess that she is running from, and came to the front hunting those that had wronged her, which has been her pursuit. And since then, the sort of collection of things that she now carries around as part of her whispers are shards of other people's uniforms and dog tags that she has taken.
All right, who would like to go next?
I'll go next if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I'm playing Francesco Franco. He's an Italian immigrant to Britain who signed up at the outbreak of war to the British Army. He's and by fate and chaos and circumstances ended up on the Eastern Front, a lot colder than he expected to be. He's left behind his son back in Britain. He's gone to live with Frank's mum, his nonna. And that's the only time Frank's ever serious when he talks about his son. He is the muscle of the group. He's always trying to find the best in everything, and he's also the de facto cook because being Italian, he's taken over. So none of you get a choice. But yeah, that's Frank.
Cool. So I'll be playing Edward Mayhew, who comes from the farmlands in God's own country of Yorkshire up north. He was being groomed by his father to go into the clergy, though with the coming of war realised what's the point of learning to tend to a flock when your flock, his friends, who are also going to war, would all be dead. And since then has turned away from the Bible and its teachings as he realises that all this weird stuff that's going on is very reminiscent of the old stories his grandmother would tell him about that have been passed down through the ages.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll be Tom Carter. He comes from the Isle of Wight. He worked at a pub there as a barman and kind of bouncer. And he enlisted because he looked after his place on the Isle of Wight, and he thought by extension enlisting was his way of being involved in that on a more grander scale, looking after people. And he was really not ready for the world outside of that. Well, all he's known. And he's kind of a bit sneaky. Am I? Yeah. I'm a bit of a scout.
All right. Thank you very much. So, you're going to read this first. So when the Brusolov offensive began in June 1916, it was a well-planned attempt to regain control over the Eastern Front. On the surface, it ended as a victory for those in charge because it used tactics not previously used effectively. Other generals did not support this offensive, even if they supported the Tsar. Tsar Nicholas made the decision to allow Brusilov to execute his plan. Even with the approval of the plan, there were portions that were not supported and therefore were not able to be carried out. Archduke Joseph Ferdinand was almost caught in the city of Lutsk because of the offensive. The swift movement of troops and the early seeming victory of it all was all it took to convince the Russian Empire to continue on their push with their military. All of the pieces started to fall into place as the offensive carried on. On the front lines, there were major losses in the Russian Empire. The Brusilov offensive was a deadly one for both sides, and by late August, many of the Russian troops had resorted to retreating against orders. Your mission objective. Orders have been given to press on with the offensive, with many casualties and soldiers around you questioning whether they should keep going or retreat. After seeing one of your friends be shot down, you question whether to stay or to fight, to stay and fight or to retreat. So I'm going to pass out our cards. Oh. All players. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, so all players, you will get 3 cards. You should see them come up.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, got 'em.
Yay, it
Ooh.
worked.
This is very interesting. So for people that aren't familiar with Never Going Home, this game uses both dice for your like attributes and stuff, and also cards to kind of represent different things like memories, and can also represent your corruption occurring and other certain events in the game. So it's pretty neat and has a lot of variety for that reason.
All right. So the requirement for your journey is you must make your way through the cornfield or cold fields to the city of Lutsk and out of the front lines. So the requirement is 2 spades for overcoming the obstacles and 1 diamond for hope.
Okay, and we all have to donate a card, but we don't have to donate a card that helps with this.
Correct. So everybody has to, you will have to pass a card to me. And it does not have to necessarily help, but you do have to pass a card.
Sure. And as we pass the card, do we get to have any like narrative control over this? Do we like kind of explain what we're doing, what that card might represent, without revealing exactly what the card is?
Once I get all of the cards, yes, you will have narrative control.
Okay. Huh. It's saying that my trade is currently pending with you, Crystal. I think I might have clicked on something wrong in the first place. So if you can just wipe whatever is popping up from me, I can try and send you a card.
Oh, that's because I have to accept the trade from.
Right.
Okay, so
Okay,
I get it now.
I'm gonna pass that with. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, but let's just see. Okay. While this is happening, because where we currently, we're just out in the. Yeah, whereabouts are we right now then, Crystal? Where?
You are currently in the battlefields right outside Lutzig.
Okay. So we're mostly somewhere in a ditch or something, taking shelter in some godforsaken no man's land in some shell of a house.
Yep, correct.
And as that's happening, Edward has a habit of reciting various different nursery rhymes that he remembers that relates to, because that's how he kind of deals with things. So he's right now just doing little Tommy Tucker sings for his supper. What shall we give him? White bread and butter. And he's just like cleaning his rifle as he's doing that.
Nice.
Frank's definitely doing that thing that dads do, where he's trying to guess what all this land used to be, and then jumping to huge assumptions. And he's decided that this was a farmhouse for the local nobility at some point, and he's got no reason to think this, but he's decided that's what it is. And he keeps popping his head around to have a look at the house, even though it's a shell of a ruin.
Sasha is sort of halfway up on the sort of ruined top half of what was once this house, looking through a sniper's nest. Every now and again, she sort of lowers these extra sets of lenses she has. Not all the way of all the ones she's got, but every now and again just taps one or two and, keeps her eyes on the field in front of them.
Dimitri is pretending to read a newspaper.
All right.
Tom is...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Tom is probably rummaging odd drawers and keeping an eye on windows and doors, keeping an eye on ways out.
All right. So you successfully press on. You're making your way through the fields, and you see the city ahead of you. But there's a coldness that just seeps into your hearts. And it's almost as if you can see the flashing of the guns and the cries of these men, and you can hear and smell the battle of war. And it was behind you, and it's starting to feel like it's pulling forward and is still in front of you, as if going to Lutzig is not going to be the best thing for you. So you succeed in overcoming your obstacles. You're able to avoid some of the soldiers that you see coming, but you did not get the hope that you needed.
Well, is there anything that's kind of giving us this creeping dread as we approach this city? Is there like something alongside the road that makes us really worried about what might be before us, or is it more just like a preternatural fear that's occurring?
What would give you that feeling of lost hope? What would give your character that feeling of lost hope in that moment?
I mean, I think we all know. Gosh, it's going to be the dogs. It's going to be the dogs. They're just so many of them. They're just so skinny. Looks like they're scrounging for food, but there's nothing. There's nothing left. And they're all over the countryside as we approach the city. I'm going to turn to the other, I assume Russian in the group, Sasha, and say, this is no good.
No.
I don't think we'll find any haven or shelter here. And I don't know, we are with these Englishmen, the Angli, but they, what's the command going to say when they find us? Are they going to think we're deserters, that we've fled our position?
What you're saying is that we should not get found.
Yes, I think that's correct. Not found by any of the Tsar's men, and not found by
Hmm.
any of the Germans or the Austrians here.
We should ask small one with the Carter. We should ask Carter to check on ahead.
You, Carter with the beard.
Yeah. How can I help? What do you need?
We're worried about the city up ahead. The town. It's no city. Look at that. Can you see that smoke in the distance?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that, isn't there?
You were good foraging when we were in the forest, and you found some of that bread when we were in those trenches. Can you have a look around? What do you think about approaching this way? Should we take another route?
Yeah. I guess I would. Does it look like there's any approach that we can make where we've maybe got some cover?
So you look at the city and you look to the sides, and you can actually see that there is a cluster of woods off in the distance. If you're careful, you could probably retreat to the cluster pretty easily.
Yeah. Okay. So, use the cluster to like retreat from the city, or use it as a way to get closer to the city?
So it's close to the city, but you
Okay.
could get there close enough to maybe scout the city if you needed to without being seen.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Englishman, come here. Come here. Let me impart some wisdom on you, since I know you're in such a foreign land. Foreign to you, but familiar to us. Whenever there was danger in the olden days, the peasants would always flee for the forest. Even if we don't find exact safety there, maybe we'll find some people who could help us. Maybe some with supplies that could feed us. My stomach's been growling for 2 days now, and if Frank there could make something delicious, I think we'd all appreciate it. And maybe you could learn something from the babushkas. They have their own way with potatoes and the mushrooms in the forest. I think maybe we should go there. What do all of you think?
I think there'll be food. I think we go that way.
You start to hear gunfire getting closer as rifle shots start moving your way.
We should move quickly.
Go
Is
on,
there? Oh, go on.
No, I'll take the rear. If you want to move on, I'll cover the rear.
No. I take rear. I long shot. You, and I. Sorry, I will move up some of the rubble to sort of situate myself and start aiming down my gun to give everyone else plenty of time to begin retreating.
Yeah, so you move up, and what would you like to make a roll for to scout the area and make sure that you guys have cover?
I think can I do stealth?
Yep, you can use stealth.
Yeah. So yeah, thinking that I can probably identify somewhere where we can get like out of line of sight. So that would be me rolling my stealth then. That's like
So the target number is going to be a 3.
Okay. Pardon me.
Did you want to use any +1 modifiers?
Oh. Yeah, sorry.
That slipped my head, mine too. If you rolled already,
Yeah.
that's fine. You can use because I forgot to ask. You can use any of the before rolls +1 modifiers.
Yeah, so I think I have a decent amount of dice.
Okay.
So I think I would rather buff them
Hold
or
until after?
re-roll them. Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, you said was it 4 was the target number?
3.
The target number is 3, and
Oh,
successes
okay.
are 5s and 6s.
You probably want to re-roll.
Yeah, that's not a great one there.
So you can
Um,
also, so after your roll with the +1 system, you can add a pip to a die, or you can re-roll any number of dice and keep the result.
Yeah.
So if you spent 2 right now, you could add a pip, which would get 1 success, and then re-roll the other 3 that you rolled.
Yeah, that sounds like a good shout. And I've got a fair bit of brawn, don't I? So I can I then add pips after re-rolling?
After re-roll is when you can add a pip, or you can only re-roll any number of dice once. All right, but you can add a pip as many times as you like after that roll too.
And for those of us, and perhaps people on the stream who are unfamiliar with this, we can add as many pips or sort of re-roll as we have in our stat, but that doesn't decrease our stat in that regard. It's only damage that does that.
Okie dokie. So I will keep my 4 and add a pip. I will re-roll 3 dice. Oh wow!
No.
Okay, well, I've rolled a handful of jank.
So what's Tom attempting to do here that he's massively messed up on?
Scout us away out without.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! He took us through a minefield.
Yeah.
No, not me.
Can I use?
I'm back there keeping you guys safe.
Okay, I'm gonna step in then, and seeing how Tom is likely leading us in the wrong direction, trying to wind past whatever ditches and craters and minefields or whatever, and actually it's not getting us any further away from the enemy and getting us closer to them.
I still have points. I can maybe can I add multiple pips when I
Yes, you can add as many pips as up to dice or as up to points that you have. You just can only do the reroll once.
Okay, and it's based on my gut. Oh no, it's based on my brawn. So I've done 2.
Remaining.
I've got 3 pips remaining.
So
I can bring a second one
successes.
Up. Yeah. Oh.
So you kept the 1-4 though.
I turned the 4 into a 5. So it was
you can only get 1 more success, so you can only get 2 more successes. 2 successes total.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is what's going to happen. Okay. You think that you are sneaking off, and one of the dogs that you had seen was laying on the ground, and you stepped on it just by accident, and it yelped. And you hear the sounds of voices directed in your direction, and you can hear individuals coming. So here's what's going to happen. Sasha, you are already perched high up.
Yep.
You see this happen. The rest of you have the ability to make a run for the woods. You will need to make if you choose to, you would need to make an athletics roll with a target number of 3 to get there quick enough to not be seen. And Sasha, you will have the ability to either cover them or hide until it is safe for you to move.
I'm going to cover them.
Can I jump in and use my whisper of air and create a fog blanket to come up so the weather changes?
Yes, you can. That'll lower the target number down to 2 for you.
Okay, so I'm going to pull out of my jacket like a small bird, local to the area that was dead that I picked up along the way, and I start plucking its feathers from its dead body to just scatter to the air around me. So to do this, I need to for all elemental rituals, the caster must discard a card. So I have to discard a card. Is it better to discard a high score or a low score?
Aces are high, so the higher the better the result.
Okay, so I'll discard a high card. So should I hand that to you, Crystal?
Yep, you're gonna hand that to me.
Okay, good. Okay, and then, having done that, that counts as a automatic success, and then I need to succeed on a whisper roll against the target's defense, but I'm not actually against a target, I don't think. And yeah, okay, so I'm using a non-attack method, and then I use my smarts, which is 5. So how do I roll 5 dice on this? Slash roll. What was it?
Slash R 5d6.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
oh wow!
Nice.
They're the nice rolls.
And I've still got like 5 points in smarts there that I guess I could just use to enhance the effect to ridiculous levels.
That would make it 5 successes.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Yeah.
All right. So what does that effect do?
I'm just gonna have like there's I think we'll have it so that it begins to rain like heavily. And as it does so, it just becomes misty. There's so much rain, the skies darken, and I guess we can then very easily sneak off. And even if we make any noise, I would hope it's dampened by the fact there's torrential rain.
Okay. So I'm still gonna have everybody roll in athletics. But the target number is severely lowered now. It's actually just a 1. And it is just to see if you are able to avoid being seen or running into anybody, because you are also affected by the fog.
What happens if you don't have any athletics?
So, okay. Ooh, so you have an untrained skill.
Yeah.
So look to your ability that is connected with your athletics, which I believe is brawn.
Yeah.
However many dots in brawn is how many +1
so I buy
options
dice
that you
from
can
it.
do.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so let's buy 2 that I've got in there.
So if anyone wants to do that now before you roll, you can do so.
Yeah.
Frank has succeeded despite his terrible roll. He's got 6 points in brawn. So I'm able to easily make the successes.
And I can
makes his way.
And then I can also upgrade that 4 then to a 5, if that's right. Yeah. And that gives me.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've got 2 successes total.
Okay, cool.
I think. Yeah.
I got 1 success.
That's
Just barely
all you
scraping
needed.
by here.
We're off to a great start here, people. The party is split. We've got people already running down corruption.
So, Sasha, you see that as everyone starts hearing these officers come your direction, Edward take off their coat and do something, and then the weather flips and changes, and rain starts to pour down, hitting the cold earth and creating a ground fog that is so thick and dense that you can almost feel it on your skin. And you see as your 4 compatriots take off into this mist, and there's nothing but a swirling mass left behind. And now you are alone on this battlefield with the sounds of battle still going around you.
Mm-hmm.
Voices, dogs, crying men that are dying on the field, and you are all alone now.
Yep.
And you hear just the slightest whisper in your ear, but you can't quite make out the words. Like it sounds like someone just gently saying something in your ear, but it's almost too faint.
I know, my love. And I begin to cite on the voices of the officers that were sort of coming this way. And I wait for the mist to begin to lower. I mean, it's heavy and thick, but this is what Sasha does. And I will be preparing, waiting for an officer. I don't want a regular troop. I want whoever is in charge of this group that is running after us. Because here's the thing about running into an area where you know there's a sniper. No one does it twice.
All right. So you wait. And with the amount of rolls that Edward got, the amount of successes that he got, you do actually wait quite some time, a lot longer than normal. But finally you get a clearing, and it's almost as if the fog kind of falls away from this particular person, and it's almost as if they're outlined as a silhouette, and you can very clearly see your shot.
There you are. Awesome. So I have the rifle with the aim quality, which I obviously said I was doing. So I don't know what aim provides me. If I had to guess, I'm guessing it's one more dice to the roll.
So with aim, you have to first roll your dice, okay? And then the number that's in the parentheses next to aim is the target number above, is the number above the target number that you need to get in order to activate that ability.
Okay.
So
I have range, trained, and then I have 4 dice in it.
Yep. And then so you can take a look. You can use anything for the +1. You can add dice to your roll up to the amount of your ability.
I
in
think
that area.
I will look at doing. Oh, actually, I've got a good number of this, and it's coming off my my guts, isn't it? So yeah,
correct.
So I've got a good number here.
Your target number is 3, by the way.
Target number is 3. I'm rolling 4 dice, but I have 5 points in it. So let's go with the 4 dice at the moment.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. So that's a 6, a 4, which I will bump up to a 5, and then a 2, which I will bump up by 3 points to a 5 as well. So that's my 3 successes.
Okay. So you hit the target number. You don't activate any of the abilities, but you do hit your mark.
Oh, so I wasn't. So I roll and I look for an additional one for aim.
Correct.
Right. Oh, okay.
So how many points in your ability do you have?
5.
And you used all 5 of them?
I've used 3, 4. I've got 1 point remaining at the moment.
So you could re-roll any of the non-success dice if you would like.
You know what? I'm going to re-roll. I'm going to re-roll the 2 and the 1 to see what I get here, because this could boost things up. There we go. So by re-rolling the 2 and the 1, that becomes a 5, a 4, and a 6, which means I can, because I've only re-rolled 1 there, I can actually get enough to turn that into 4 successes, which will give me the aim as well.
Okay. So now we get to do damage. Let's see here. Your damage from your rifle is 2 damage.
Yep.
So you're going to roll 2 dice.
Okay. That's 5.
5. Okay. So now with the aim ability, you get to actually re-roll any damage dice.
I'll re-roll that 1.
All right.
And turn it into another 1.
All right. So how many points total? 5?
5. 5 points
Okay.
damage.
Cool. So you do 5 damage. You ping him exactly where you were aiming. And you see the shadow, the framed shadow fall to the ground. There wasn't even a scream.
Actually, I'd like there to be one. I'm not aiming for a kill shot. I'm aiming to wound this person.
Got it. Okay.
Because this is
All right.
this is the warning. But it's also a commander which will draw out other people. The kill shot comes for the first person who comes for them.
Got it. Okay, so with that being said, you know your anatomy, you know where it hurts.
Yeah.
So you are able to aim and hit exactly the really, really tender spots of the belly where he doubles over and screams.
And then I will sort of move away from the area slightly, sort of repositioning myself and wait for the next person. Because if I've wounded one and killed another one, then I can make my good retreat knowing where my group was going. And that way they are very unlikely to risk running out, having seen one of their number go down and another of their number in a lot of sort of pain in this regard. It's a cruel sniper's trick, but it's one that is used a lot for a reason.
All right, so you see a group come up to the individual that you hit, and they check them out and then start looking around. You can see some of them don't have guns. They have bayonets, or they have swords or knives. Not everybody's equipped with a gun in World War I.
Yeah.
So you see them moving around, and very quickly you get your next shot opportunity.
Okay, so this time I'm going to spend 2 points to add 2 more dice to my roll here.
Okay.
To give me 66.
Yep. Go roll it.
So that's dice roller, d6, 6, roll. Okay, so that's 2 5s already. I have 3 points remaining, so I'm going to turn those 2 4s that I rolled into 2 more successes, giving me 4 successes this time.
Yep.
I don't know what my target number is. If it's 3 again, then I will also activate aim.
Yep. So that will activate aim.
Yep.
So roll your damage.
2d6. That's 12. I'm not going to need to re-roll because I just rolled 2 6s.
All right. So do you want to narrate this one?
Yeah. So it's as the group begins to move forward towards their commander, one of their group sort of gets bold, not knowing what's happened to their commander, and immediately runs. And as they're sort of stepping up and beginning to run out, the bullet just smashes into the masonry behind them, and they stand for a minute before falling flat on their face. And as they're falling, Sasha is already sort of sliding down the masonry and the piled brickwork on their cloak, made up of tattered, ruined things, and in their head they just go, "One more to collect," and just begin to run sort of towards their confederates, their allies.
Yeah. So we are going to, as you run, we're going to flash to the other group. So you all know Sasha usually does stay behind, and you as a group have come up with a good system where you wait for them at not a pre-designated area, an area where you're kind of either it's obvious that you'd be waiting there for them, or one of you waits to catch up with everybody else. And you, so the group there, you get into the woods first before Sasha gets there. And there isn't anything there. From what you can see, there aren't people here trying to seek shelter. And you don't even hear the sounds of animals right now. It's just dark, but covered. And while it originally looked like it was just kind of a small little grove of trees, it actually is quite a lot bigger than you had imagined at first. And as you're scouting and looking ahead, you realize that this forest actually stretches on for quite some time, and you may actually be able to seek out shelter or safe haven within this forest.
Englishman, come here. Let us talk.
Which one?
All of you, all three. Okay. I think we should stay in the forest. I know
Certainly.
we don't hear the chirping of birds. There isn't a fresh deer for us to kill and for Frank to cook. But out there, it'll be far more dangerous. Out in the open. Here we have the safety of the trees. I can teach you some things. I can show you some plants that we can eat. Some teas that we can make. Something to at least fill our stomach as we make our way through here. And I, for one, know that I'll need to take a bit of a rest at some point. How long have we been on our feet, Edward? How long?
I've lost track
Everything,
of time.
It blurs together. What is night? What is day? All the overcast and these random rainstorms that keep appearing. It's dreadful, purely dreadful. But that is my recommendation. What's the rest of you think?
I agree. I don't like the open spaces. It's too big.
No. Unless we find a new truck. If we find a new truck and use that, we could dare venture out onto the open terrain. Maybe even find an old road of some sort. But just on our feet, this will be much safer. And perhaps there will be some bounty here in the forest. We can only hope.
I say
the forests, though, they're so different to what they used to be. There's things in there.
Yes, I know, but I think we need to have the courage to stay here because we know what's out there. Those Germans and those Austrians have been on our heels for tens of kilometers. I don't think they're going to stop.
In the trees, we stay near the edge. So while these trees will help against the bullets, they bring shells on us. We don't want to be in here.
That is a good point. However, do you think they'll randomly use their artillery here on the trees, on the forest? Only if they suspect there's many people in here.
The amount of shells fired in this war, I don't think there's any sense to the targeting.
Okay, fair enough. We'll stick to the edge. We'll see what we can find here.
Edward's going to start just looking around. He's going to be picking about, looking for, again, some feathers or something similar as an offering for his whisper. And as he's doing that, he's mostly singing again another nonsense nursery rhyme as he's doing so.
Yeah, I think Dimitri probably isn't that great at like foraging in the forest, but he's gonna tell Carter, who is probably good at that, to look out for a couple things. So obviously birch trees and birch bark you can make a good tea with. If you can find any like rose hips, little red berry, not wait, well, no, not little red berries, like
I was gonna say.
sizable red berries with little kind of feathery things on top. Don't eat those immediately. Bring them back, and I'll have a look at them and tell you if they're the right thing. Um, and a few other things I'm sure he'll be able to recommend that Carter be on the lookout for.
They have
Yeah.
rose hips in England. Don't worry. Carter will
Okay,
be
all right, good.
able
Okay,
to
I'm
find.
sorry, you're from such a far off land. I don't know what you have there. I'm told it just snows all the time, right? That's what I heard. Constant snowfall, blasted tundra.
I'm from Naples. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
All right.
Yeah.
So Dimitri kind of stumbles through, giving you a forgery checklist.
Yeah, and I guess I follow as best I can. I'm not great on the smarts though.
You can
You
give
are-
it a good old try if you
You
like.
actually
Yeah.
really want to let Sasha do this. This is something I'm really good
yeah,
at.
yeah,
Oh,
let-
right. Yeah,
let,
Sasha is the
let's-
local.
let Edward pick around for like roots and mushrooms, I think, as well. He's
Yep,
a farmer
mushrooms
by
are good.
heart.
Make a knowledge roll.
Yeah, knowledge. Okay, so that's knowledge is 3, and I've got sparks of 5. So let's buy 2 extra dice before the roll. So that's 5 dice, and then I can upgrade things afterwards. Okay. Oh, that's not great. So that gives me. I've got 3 points left after the roll, so I could do a re-roll, can't I? First.
Yep.
So let's re-roll all of them. Yeah. Yeah, let's re-roll all of them because none of them are successes. Yeah, that's more like it. And that leaves me with 2 pips left over. So I'll turn that 3 into a 5, and that's 4 successes then.
All right. So, Edward, I'm assuming that you have spent a lot of time with Sasha and probably picked up on a bunch of stuff that they do while you guys are out on missions.
I've mostly made notes in a small little moleskin about the various different mushrooms and herbs and so forth.
You've probably started a collection of drawings too at some point. All right. So you go off and start foraging for some things. Frank, what are you doing?
I'm going to be sort of collecting. If we're collecting food, we're going to need heat and fire to do something with it. So I'm sort of, while all this is happening, not making a fire, but getting together likely looking sticks and kindling and things and getting them ready for a fire. I'm not starting a fire yet. I'm waiting until we've got some food and we're not being pursued. But I'm collecting resources for a fire, basically.
Okay. And there's plenty of that in here. You've already, like, I'm not going to make you roll for that one.
Find the wood in the trees.
I am going to have you just roll 1d6 and just tell me the number.
Oh god, that's the worst thing to be told. Okay, 1. It's a 1.
1. Okay, so we're going to get back to you in a second.
Sure. I've got a sword. I'm fine.
All right, so then Tom and Dimitri, what are you doing?
I suppose I probably start looking for stuff in a way that is so obviously ineffectual and hopeless. Like I just kind of stand there and I probably like turn on the spot and it's just like no mushrooms, no bushes, like what, like I don't see anything. To the point that it's probably a little bit demoralizing for Dimitri. So I do apologize after your
Carter,
excellent
Carter, come on. You look for. Do you know what a currant is? Look for a blackberry, A currant? What about some lemongrass? Look for some lemongrass. You know what lemongrass is? Didn't you tell me you worked in a restaurant?
A pub, a fisherman's
Yes,
pub.
a restaurant. In one of those big cities you have there.
Very small, like little islands. If we were by a river, I could maybe tell you about the fish, but
All right.
Yeah.
As you guys are arguing, that is when Sasha comes back, and you see Sasha make their way into the woods, and is able to find the noise of your discussion going on and track you from that. So Sasha, you have now met back up with the group.
Everyone will be able to sort of hear Sasha coming. For Sasha is unfortunately not a quiet person, but the reason you can hear them coming is all the dog tags that clink together in their sort of cloak of patchwork pieces and stuff like that. They sort of look around at you all. And so, what? No wild garlic? Are you kidding me? England has no wild garlic?
It comes wild.
Dimitri, we are being lied to.
I do not understand. You have these massive cities, and yet you do not know what food is.
Potatoes come out the ground. Fish comes out the sea.
Yes, but you... My goodness.
I'll come
Sasha,
back
Sasha.
with like a handful of now mushrooms and like some root vegetables that have been another thing.
Look at this! Look at this! One Englishman knows
Wild
how to survive. How to survive in the wilderness.
All right. So as you guys are doing that, Frank, you're wandering around collecting wood, and this is pretty easy for you to do. And you are fairly confident about your skills in survival and tracking. So you are confident enough to be able to wander a little bit further than everybody else. And off in the distance, you do hear howls. Now, they are definitely far enough away, but the fact that you can hear them is still concerning.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of travel off in the opposite direction, and there you actually see in the distance an old hut. It's a little worn down, but it looks like there might be somebody in there. You can see that there is a outdoor fire pit with an old-fashioned cauldron pot. And you don't really see anybody else, though. There's nobody really wandering around. It could be that it is late at night, so or later in the evening, so they could be in bed already, since, you know, early to bed, early to rise type of mentality. Or they could be out doing the same thing that you are and gathering wood.
Okay. The sticks that I've got so far, I'll just tuck into my pack, just so I've got them. Pull my knife and then move towards the hut, sort of trying to keep the door in line of sight as much as I can. And I'm not stealthing particularly, but I'm going slowly and surely towards it and keeping a watch out. So I'm not stealthing. I'm more just keeping wary, just keeping, track that no one can see me as I head towards the hut.
Yeah. Okay. So you head towards the hut, and since you're not stealthing, I'm not going to have you roll anything. You make it up to one of the windows there. Okay.
I will have a look in. Is there any glass in the window, or is it a rough hole?
So there is glass in the window, but it is the glass that is definitely very, very old or very poorly made, because it is rippled, because glass does slowly melt. And so this glass is actually rippled to the point of where you're like, okay, well, this is actually pretty old glass. So
Okay, can I see through it, or is it that distorted now?
You can see through it, and you don't see any movement, and you also don't see any like candlelight or anything like that. That would be inside.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the doorway and rap on it. I'm gonna, give a couple of knocks. I've got no reason to be. But yeah, so I'll bang on.
Before.
Is that one of those moving pictures they've got nowadays, the black and white ones? Yeah.
So you rap on the door, and it kind of there is no like door handle type of thing. There's like a latch, but it's not latched all the way, and it kind of swings open. And you can see that there are dismembered chickens within the all over the floor. You can see feathers. You can see blood. You could see definitely bodies all over the place.
Okay. This is an odd question to ask, but are they savaged or are they butchered, if that makes sense? Like, does it look like someone has been killing chickens for food, or is it like a dog got in here and ripped them to pieces kind of thing?
It definitely looks like it was wastefully done.
Right.
It was not done to preserve for food.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to head back to the unit. I'm going to sheathe my dagger and hurry back away.
Yep.
Yeah, and get as fast as I can. Not actually that fast. I'm not racing away, but this actually might be quite a good place to stop off. So I'm gonna head back to tell them what I found.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah.
You are able to head on back. You know the direction that you need to go. You don't run into any wild dogs or wolves that you heard. They must have gone off into another area.
Okay, good.
All right, so Frank, you eventually make it back, and they are probably still arguing about food and collection of food and resources.
Yeah, I found shelter. I found meat and I found shelter.
What do you mean you found meat and shelter?
There's a hut behind me. It's full of dead chickens. I think a fox or something got in there. I don't know, but it's shelter. It's meat. It's food.
Is it safe?
There was no one inside.
Be better than this rain.
I didn't hear any German.
I found some. We have if there's chickens, then we can certainly make a stew with what I was able to find. Let's move.
I'm gonna pat Edward on the back and just be like, "Come on, friend, cheer up. We've got food. We've got somewhere to sit now."
Yes,
Before we go traipsing to Baba Yaga's hut, can Sasha, being a local to this area, roll on their knowledge?
Anyone that is local or versed in folklore, which would be a character decision for you, not anything on your stats. If you make the decision that you would know folklore, you can make a knowledge roll.
I'd know Italian, but not Russian. Unsurprisingly, Central European folklore is not one of my specialist subjects.
I'm gonna spend 2 points to give myself 2 more dice for this roll to give me 5 dice.
Okay.
That's 3 successes on the dice roll already.
All right.
I can make it 4. Yeah, I can make it 4 successes total.
Okay. Anyone else making a roll?
No.
Dimitri?
Something's happened there.
Whoa.
Oh.
Something's gone wrong with James's stream.
He's duplicated.
He's duplicated. I'm gonna have to boot this person.
The other one's a doppelganger. You didn't see the two of us together. Kill him, quick.
Kill him! Wait. Which of them is the real one?
James, freeze exactly the way that you're frozen. Oh, there we go. Aw.
There
we have to guess.
Terribly sorry about that, everybody.
Shoot them both.
Which one has the red X on the forehead?
All right.
So yeah, 4 successes on local folklore.
Okay. Dimitri, or not Dimitri, Dimitri, did you want to roll? Oh, you're muted, Mike.
I'm going to want to respond to whatever Sasha says. So,
Okay.
yeah, we'll play it that way.
All right, Sasha, this does sound familiar. You have grown up with stories of huts in the woods and old hags with chickens.
Niet,
It's-
niet,
it-
niet, 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 niet to hut. No, 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 no.
What's
Terrible
wrong?
idea.
Why?
His hag. His Baba Yaga is
Jeez, Sasha. Calm down. Calm down.
I would
Calm
heed
down,
the
Sasha.
words of Sasha. There's, as I say, there are stranger things in the lands these days.
very dangerous people. Then, if you do not buy into idea of old lady casting spells, dangerous idea for people. Just no, not worth it.
Sasha,
We
calm
have-
down. This is just a hut. A bit strange, Frank. But let us have a look. And if nothing else,
Tossed around with abundance.
If-
No,
if the chickens are fresh, we shall take them and leave the hut alone.
no, you never eat from the hut. You never take from the hut. That's
Sasha,
when they
Sasha,
find
stop with
you.
these stories. These are stories from the babushka.
Niet. No, I will not go.
Fine, Sasha, you stay.
I will.
You stay. Edward,
I will.
you stay as well.
I'm sure this argument suddenly turned into like is in full on Russian between or whatever native tongue
yeah,
is now.
Yeah, yeah.
And just
it
like-
has lapsed completely out of English and gone exclusively into very angry sounding Russian.
Russian sounds very angry anyway, so
Exactly.
it's just accentuated
Yeah,
anger.
That is quite true.
Yeah, it's
It is quite true.
punctuated constantly by rattling because every gesticulation that Sasha makes, their cloak rattles.
Look, how much food have we got? How much have you found in this
We have-
forest?
We have no food.
Frank, we've got these mushrooms there. We've got some nice herbs
Look at
there.
Edward. Did you not listen to me, Edward? Those mushrooms right there are the poison.
They're not poisonous, you
poison.
fool.
No,
They're totally edible.
They're poison. Let us get the chickens, Frank.
We've got
Frank,
5
you and
soldiers
I-
to feed. 5 soldiers.
Carter, you look skinny. You look skinny, Carter.
Yeah,
I'm
Come
with
with us.
I'm with Frank. Like
Come with
let's
Frank and I.
like
yeah.
there's food. There's food in the house. That's how you get food. It's in the buildings. Like
5 soldiers, 1 Italian.
Then-
We need 6 portions.
I
These
suggest
Sasha and Edward, they can sit out here eating poison mushrooms. Although I'll take those roots right there. They'll go great with some chicken.
I suggest that if we do go there and take these chickens and eat them, we should leave a token payment, perhaps, just in case, just to be sure.
Fine.
Yes. Well, I concur.
Okay.
That's only a good gesture of hospitality, even if the host is not there.
I'm thinking of appeasing the spirits, looking
This is
around.
not gonna
Talking about the
work.
spirits again.
Come on, follow me. Frank turns
Yeah.
and then heads towards the towards
Slowly, with a sack full of herbs and mushrooms and everything else, Edward will follow and take his time, dragging his feet, and will at the same time light a cigarette because this is surely going to be not a good thing. It's going to pass over one of the very few cigarettes he's got to Sasha. This is maybe your last.
Perfect. We've got a hut, we've got a fire pit. Sit outside if you want to. Sit outside if you're that scared. I'll make the stew outside. We've got a potato. we've got
I
meat,
will
we've
not
got
be
ourselves-
eating any of stew. No. This is a terrible. I can. You are crazy. I killed 2 men today,
Dimitri's
so we
walking
can run.
away.
No, this is whilst the wolf.
He
I
and Frank are
imagine.
walking away. They're going to the hut.
All right, so you guys, so Frank and Dimitri start walking towards the hut. Does Tom follow with
Oh
them?
yeah. I'm going
Okay.
along as well.
Yeah.
So Sasha and Edward, now is the moment of: do you follow or do you stay behind?
I choose life. I have made my point.
But if something does go wrong, we need
They are
them.
dead men. They are dead men.
Frank, I will remind you that there was a reason that you went towards the hut that you had heard.
The wolves and the dogs. All right, I'll shout that back. You stay out here, the dogs will get you.
What dogs?
There's dogs in the woods.
Oh, fuck you, Frank. Oh, shit.
With that,
angry
we'll set off
swearing.
and Edward will start whistling Peter and the Wolf just because.
Nice. All right. So you have the five of you making your way to where Frank had discovered the hut. Two of you are very reluctant and probably hanging behind. So you walk through the woods, and Frank is very confident about the way. He's taken this way already. He kind of knows where he went. He's very good at tracking things. So you're able to confidently find your way back. And you get to the hut, no problem. I am going to have everybody make, let's see here, a investigation roll. The target number is going to be a 3.
What investigation roll? Sorry.
Bristol,
That's guts.
I'm going to pass you a card
Yeah.
because
We can exchange
this
cards for bonuses, can't we?
but bonus because I think that passing you to add a +1 effect to the player's choice. So I'm gonna pass you a card to be to be trained in this.
Okay.
Because so I'm passing you. Do I say anything? Because or should I just pass you the card?
No, you can just pass me the card. You don't
Okay,
have to say
sweet.
anything.
How many
Right.
successes do we need?
3.
Okay, yeah, I've got it. Because I had-
Dimitri fails.
I had what was my rating in this? Investigation 2 and Guts 6. So I bought 3 dice, and I'm going to promote my 4 to a success. So it's fine.
I had to buy all new dice, so unfortunately, only 1 success.
1 success. Okay.
Oh my God, Tom!
Whoa!
So I rolled a 6 and 3 dice. I re-rolled 3 of the
Wow.
dice and got all 6s. So, for someone who's untrained, I smashed it.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
I can get 3 successes as well.
all right. So Tom and Sasha are the only ones that succeeded in that.
Edward too, I think.
Yep.
Oh, Edward too. Okay. So Edward and Sasha, as you're walking up to the hut, and Tom, oh, actually, because it's all 3 of you, this works out really good.
The enthusiasm from the gem is never a good thing, people.
The knowledge that you have and the secrets that you hold and the secrets that your brothers and sisters and persons of fighting keep with you are important because they've kept you safe. And you can almost feel that crumble away right now as you approach this hut. But it's not crumbling away from a lack of faith or belief. It's crumbling away because there is some sort of force, some sort of worship or belief that is greater than yours, protecting this area. Almost as if you're walking on sacred ground.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
So this is as we're walking up to the hut and we've gone into the
Mhm.
clearing where this hut
Yep.
is. I will stop dead in my frickin' tracks. Like,
And Sasha, that whisper that you heard before, kind of comes back, and this time you can hear a little bit more of it. And it says, "Stop this before it gets too much."
Yeah, so Edward has like stopped dead,
Yep.
and Sasha has the exact opposite response, which is Sasha sprints forward in front of Dimitri and Frank. So just like that, because I was lagging behind, and Sasha's going into a dead sprint, and will stand in the doorway and will just rack a shot.
Yep. Okay.
Jeez!
Whoa!
Sasha! What?
So
What? Are you trying to? Are you trying to draw the Germans here?
Turn around. We walk back now. Edward and Tom know why as well. We all go now back where we came from. This is worst idea we have had. No, 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 no. This is now what is what?
Sasha, the chickens are right there. Let's get the chickens
Sacrilege.
and then we
This
go.
is sacrilege.
That is why
No.
we are here. We don't.
No.
We will not. No. We will not
How is- this is
desecrate this
fair.
house. We will not affect this house. We'll just take the chickens and we leave.
And we'll pay.
Edward, Tom, any
As you're-
assistance?
I've changed my mind.
As you're having this argument and you say the word sacrilege, the wind starts to pick up in this glen, in this area, clearing, and it starts to grow into a howl.
Oh, I can do something here. Oh, I can do something. Oh, Crystal, I would like to activate my whisper.
Yeah.
Which is chaotic songs make them flee.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to target Dimitri and Frank.
PvP, come on.
That is completely legitimate. So hold on, I gotta pull this up. What page number is it?
21. So it's make them flee. The caster strikes up a threatening chant which invokes fear in those that hear it. Allies may join the chant, but they must also suffer 1 guts damage as well. All sacrificed ranks of guts add 1 automatic success to the song. This attack targets guts. Success means the victims are panic-stricken and retreat, leaving combat. I can add +1 target on a 1 additional success, or I can inflict additional guts damage. I don't actually want to do the damage. I want to make them scared.
Okay.
And I'm specifically tapping into that wind as my song music accompaniment for it.
Okay. So
I'm really hoping Edward and Tom will help me here because I do not want to take all this damage.
Edward might actually, as he starts singing it, realize kind of the tone and the beat of the song, and maybe seemingly feels like he knows some of the words and starts chanting along.
A chthonic prayer is how this is described as a point.
So that means I have to take a point of guts damage to help out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That means I'm on guts 5. That's fine. I've got lots of guts.
all right. Let's see here. But they suffer 1 guts damage as well. I'll sacrifice strength of guts. Automatic success. This attack This attack target's gut. Success means the victims are panicked. Okay. Okay, so you have 2 victims.
I have 2 victims. Edward has provided me 1 success. I am within this forest.
Correct.
Would you allow me to, because of where I am and what I am tapping into to support this,
Ben,
to
could you...
attack that threat as my 3rd target?
Sorry, Ben, could you go back to about 2 minutes ago or so, because Zoom crashed on at my end.
Oh no!
Zoom is having issues. So what happened there? So you're about to make that roll.
Okay, so I haven't actually made the roll yet.
Okay, good.
For Zoom crashing for people. So what they might have missed is that I am currently trying to barter with the GM because we have Tom, who's also taking a point of guts damage to boost my chthonic prayer, which is my whisper ability, make them flee. And I am asking the GM if Crystal will allow me to target a 3rd person for an automatic success, and the 3rd person in this case being the threat that we know is in this forest, which are the dogs and wolves, which are currently suggesting as the reason we camp in this very clearly sacred hag hut.
So what I will say as the GM is that if there's anything within hearing distance that you consider to be a threat, it would be affected by this spell.
Awesome.
All right. So, Dimitri and Frank, you both take a guts damage. So everybody in the party has now taken damage. And you 2 flee. As Sasha starts to cast this, which you have seen before, Dimitri and Frank, you make your way to the edge of the forest. And Tom and Edward, you see this shadow figure rise up through the door frame behind Sasha. And this ragged, almost hooked nailed claw reach out to put its hands around the throat of Sasha. So Sasha, I need you to make, let's see here. Let's do an athletics roll.
Okay. Fine.
Because you woke up whatever this hut with your magic.
Shit.
And now sent 2 of your allies fleeing from this fight.
I
At
woke
least
up.
for
I
now.
woke up the hut, but this thing is a threat and could hear me. Is it able to attack me, or is it also fleeing?
You have, so your thing is a specific target. At the moment that you cast it, it was not a threat.
That's fine. Okay. Damn your eyes. Okay, fine. I'm gonna spend 2. I'm gonna spend 3 to give myself 3 dice. Okay, that is 1 success, and I will boost the 4 to a 5 to give myself 2 successes.
Okay. So you watch, and there's a slight bit of relief as your friends leave, and you start to walk away, and you feel this cold hand try to reach for you. And you're able to duck out of the way, but you turn around and you see this hag. And everything inside of you screams that you know who this is specifically.
Oh no! Oh no!
And
Bianca!
your connection, the voice that you follow almost screams as well in fear and says, it's her. And that's it. You don't hear it anymore. The scream stops suddenly. So we are going to do initiative at this time. So Edward, Tom, and Sasha, Frank and Dimitri, I am going to also have you do initiative because you will be able to have a chance to snap out of this and then make a decision as to what you want to do from there.
They've made their choice.
Yep.
No, you do not.
I'm
Nectar
running.
is an
I'm outta
Italian
here.
word, don't forget. You've made your choice. You lie in your forest.
So, all right. So you two are choosing to just continue to run even if you do snap out of it.
Yep.
I'm
Smart
going
choice.
to kill them. I am
Is there-
going to kill them.
You
Okay,
started-
those two, you two, are you running back towards the city or are you going back to the clearing that you were, or the forest area that you were at, or where are you going?
I think it should be random, right?
At some
Yeah, I
point,
think-
you will
yeah.
snap out of this and you can make a
Yeah.
decision from there.
Okay.
Dimitri, do you want to throw a dice? On a 1 to 3, we run to the clearing. 4 to 6, we break out the forest.
Oh yeah. We're going for the city.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
we're
Yep.
leaving the forest. We I think Frank's now been spooked out of the forest as a whole, so it's out of dogs, huts.
Okay, you guys head to the city.
Yeah.
So I will have you guys will be doing that
Hmm.
while we
This is
do
what-
combat.
This is just trying to save people's lives. Yep. Yep. Fine. Fine.
All right, so Sasha, Tom, and Edward, you do not
Yeah.
have to discard a card for initiative. However, you do have to let me know what number you have. It does not necessarily need to be. Do not need to tell me the suit.
If it's not a numerical card, do you say what it is, or does it you just say it's a face card?
No, you would have to tell me the rank of it.
I have a king.
Okay.
Okay, so if I'm not discarding one, I just grab one off the top of the deck.
No, you can so you look at your hand,
Oh, okay.
and whatever one is the highest one is what initiative you're going to go in.
Ooh, and I should whisper that to you.
No, you say it out loud.
No. Oh,
You
okay.
just-
10.
Okay.
I've only got 3.
Okay. So we're going to go Sasha, Tom, and Edward. Okay.
Okay. Great.
I
Let
don't
me
have a gun.
find-
I've only got staff, so you know.
See here. I got to find my stats.
Don't forget your stick, Edward. Wouldn't want to face a German machine gun nest without it.
There we go. Okay. All right. So, Sasha, you go first.
Yeah, so Sasha sort of feeling these hands sort of begin to close around
Mm-hmm.
her throat, dives forward to sort of, widen the gap between aggressor and whatever this thing is, then sees what it is, and hearing the voice go quiet, so scream and then go quiet, a look comes over Sasha's face, and for the people who have been in the party, you know that this is Sasha has decided to kill something, and that usually means that either a lot of people die or something dies badly. So Sasha, sort of having dived forward, is going to round on this thing, and just ratchet the rifle and just go for this thing's head.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for it. Your target number is going to be, let's see here, 3.
Rolling 4 dice. I'm going to spend 2 to give myself 6 dice.
Okay.
Oh, ignore that. Sorry, that's me clicking the wrong thing. Roll. Come on. Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to spend 1 to re-roll 4 dice.
Okay.
Come on. There we go. And then my remaining 2, I will bump up both those 4s to 5 to give me 4 successes.
Okay. So you are able to
Aim and shoot.
Yep. You're able to aim and shoot, roll for damage.
One of these days, I'm going to get a critical. One of these days. That's 11 points of damage. I will not re-roll the 5.
Okay, so you haul off and you shoot at Baba Yaga.
Mm-hmm.
And it does some significant damage. So you are able to shoot pretty well. Let's see. Who is next? It would be
Tom?
Tom, you're gonna go first, and then Baba Yaga goes. Because you tied.
Yeah, this is kind of an awful situation. So I am going to draw my knife, and I actually take hold of the blade of my knife so that I can cast Blood Double.
Okay.
So I am going to need to take a point of brawn. And then I need to do my whisper, don't I?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, are you actively using your whisper?
I think I take some damage to get an automatic success.
Okay.
And so I think I have a little bit of it, but if I roll, I get a chance to have more. But does it use a particular stat? Sorry, the whispers or
which particular whisper do you have? What page is it on again?
mine is page 15.
15.
I'm doing a blood right.
You do blood double, right?
Yeah.
Or blood blade. Blood double? Okay. When the caster would take damage, instead of their body explodes into a pool of blood, and the caster appears unhurt nearby. Okay. So basically what that does is that if you get attacked, you would use the whisper then.
Oh, okay. Cool. Right. Well, yeah. I'll well then, yeah. I guess if I use it then, I'm actually going to put myself between Sasha and Baba Yaga. Draw my knife and go. I'm gonna hold her back and get in the way, basically. Try and block her into the house.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So you're going to try to block her into the house.
Yeah.
Are you going to try to shut the door?
Yeah, I guess I got caught out by not needing to use the action for it. So yeah, I'll try. I'm going to just try and close the door on her because she's still inside, isn't she?
Yes, she is still inside. She has not moved.
Yeah, so I'll do that. And I'm going to hold on to, because there's no lock, so I'm just putting all my weight on the latch to keep that door shut.
All right, I'm going to have you make an athletics roll.
Oh, Great. So I'm going to use one of my dice to actually train in athletics. So that means I have 4 dice for brawn.
Target number is 2.
Target number is 2.
She's not super strong.
So if I have no dice at the moment, but I need to have some dice. I'm gonna buy 3 dice.
Okay.
And we're gonna see what that does. And then I'm gonna use my spare dice, and I'm gonna turn that 4 into a 5, so 2 successes.
Okay. So you're able to meet the target number. You're able to successfully shut the door and give you, Sasha and yourself and Edward some space between you and Baba Yaga. However, now it's Baba Yaga's turn. Let's see here. We are going to look something up. Okay. She is going to try to break open the door. So what, how many successes? You got 2 successes?
2, yeah.
Okay, so that will be her target number. All right. So she bangs against the door, and her claws like punch through the wood as if it's paper. And the door just explodes around you, and there's no door left.
I guess I'm just holding on to like the little stub with the door handle on it. Just like
Yeah,
The
like
latch.
the
Holding
rope,
the latch.
the latch there is in your hands, and you're like, well, fuck, what do I do with this now? And then it's Edward's turn.
Oh, son of a bitch. Right. This is right, seeing what's happening, I'm gonna point my staff in her direction with one hand. The other hand, I'll pull out those feathers I gathered earlier, and I'll just crush them in my hand, and basically do a directed whisper air attack against her. So I'm gonna have to hand over my last card as part of this.
How do we get more of those?
You have to finish missions.
And then I need to roll so that's one automatic success against the target's defense, and then I blah 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 blah. Then I need to use the whisper roll, which rolls off smarts. So smarts of 6. And the whisper is of 2, so that's 2. Let's turn to smarts of 6. Oh, sorry, smarts of 5. 2. So let's. How many dice do I want to buy? Let's buy. Let's buy 3 more dice, and that gives me 2 left over for a re-roll and a promotion of a pip. So let's do /R5d6. Here we go. Oh, that was shit. So let's
re-roll
that.
Maybe keep the 4.
There's no successes there. It's not even worth keeping. The odds are it should be better than that. So this is 1 extra use up on the re-roll. Oh no, that's not great.
That's worse. There's one success at least, but
There's one success. Can I still I can only re-roll once, can I?
yeah.
Yep.
So that's one success then. That means it's 2 successes in total. So that means I can do 2 damage total.
Okay.
Because do we roll? Because that's the I was reading the rules.
Yep. So you're gonna roll 2 dice.
I do actually roll dice, do I, for damage? I thought it was just damage points dealt.
Yeah, I thought it was just damage points dealt when I was reading the rules then, so I was trying to work out what aim actually does, but yeah.
Because that's why I didn't understand criticals, because critical says you roll a d6 of damage rather than... So I do a 2 and a 1, so that's total 3.
You tried rolling better?
No, I've done well already before with other things, but yeah, so I'll do that as damage, yeah.
Okay. You will notice that your what you normally use and is usually super effective.
Mm-hmm.
Not as effective.
Yeah, this is not great.
Yeah, not working very well against her.
It's almost like she's able to shut the fuck out of the whispers.
So now back at the top of the order is Sasha.
How is Baba Yaga looking?
I mean, you did put a hole in her.
Yeah. Well,
And Edward did do some damage to her, but you're used to like seeing people torn to ribbons with that ability, and that's not happening.
Okay, well, you know what? Second verse, same as the first, I guess.
Sounds good.
So, yep. Okay, I will spend 1 to re-roll 3 dice there.
Okay.
Because I'll re-roll the pair of 1s and the 2 that I rolled, which is nice. Turns it into another success. My last point of my last point, I'll turn it into one of the 4s into a 5, which gives me the 3 successes I need.
Okay, so you meet the target number. You're going to roll 2 dice for your damage.
That's 6. I don't get my aim, so I can't re-roll it.
All right, so you got 6 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it's still like she's still going, but she is taking more damage from the rifle than she did it from Edward's abilities.
I don't know how like things work in this sort of game in terms of like action economy and stuff like that. Tom is now currently staring down Babi. I've like moved around to get a clean shot at Babi Yaga, but Tom is staring her down with a tiny little trench knife. Can I throw Tom the axe that I have, sort of like so it's near to Tom's feet, so that Tom can wield the axe rather than a knife against Babi Yaga?
I will say narratively, yes, you are able to do that. So Tom, you now have an axe.
So Tom, the axe is 1 damage, but has the ability of +1 damage for 2 successes, or wreck for 3 successes.
Okay, so you've been like here, and you've thrown an axe in my direction. I'm like shit. As this axe,
it's more so I'm moving around.
I'm assuming Sasha probably slid it more than anything else.
It's more like threw it at the ground, sort of like within reach, but not at you, sort of thing.
Okay. I mean, I'm probably still going to go for my pistol that I have in my holster at this point.
Here, pistol.
Yeah. I appreciate the gesture, though. I do. So, yeah. I'm in the doorway. I mean, I got my knife out last time and I was holding onto the door, so I throw away my useless door handle and draw my pistol. And I'm gonna pistol So I have 6 guts. So I'm going to buy I'm going to buy 3 dice.
Okay.
So that means I'm going to roll 5 altogether. Roll 5d6. Well, those are some dice.
Holy hell, that's 4
Um,
successes without
Wow.
anything.
Wow.
So using my 3 remaining dice, I turn the two that aren't 6s into 6s.
Yeah. So not only do you gain the or you gain critical, which means that you
nice.
roll 1d6 for each damage instead. So you have 2 damage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm that's
So you're
2d6
gonna
then?
you're gonna add for each damage. So you're gonna roll. Oh, I think it's supposed to be plus 1d6. So you're gonna roll 4 total for the damage.
Isn't it 3 to hit Baba Yaga?
Oh, I'm sorry. It is 3, but so all you have to do is meet the target number or above it. Above it activates those abilities. But if you look at the damage of your weapon, that's how many dice you get if you get the target number.
Yeah,
So
I
2
meant
damage.
the critical takes 3 successes.
Oh, so I would need 6.
So you
to
need
get
6
both
to
of
get
them, or-
to hit
sorry.
and critical.
So yeah, you don't get the critical, but you roll 2 damage instead. 2 dice for damage.
Oh,
Sorry.
there we go. So 5's all right.
Yeah.
All right. So you swing your pistol around after watching the axe fly by you, and you're like, no, bang. You shoot her, and she goes down.
Ooh.
So, she is not moving. How would you like to narratively control this?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I guess I look down and I say, you should have just let the door stay shut, and I shoot her again. Just because
Confirm the
she's
kill.
scary. She's very scary.
All right. Okay.
And yeah, I pick up the axe and walk back to Sasha, and I'm like, I appreciate your support, and hand the axe back.
Happy to help. Okay. Okay. Edward, you all right?
For now.
Good.
We should go find our colleagues.
This is Baba Yaga, yeah?
You are almost
100%
certain that this is Baba Yaga.
Okay,
I'm gonna do something now because I'm sick of this crone. I'm actually gonna head into that because if she's gone for now, I'm gonna head into that shack and grab the chickens. She's had her payment in lead, it seems. Now let's go.
I rolled obscenely well my folklore.
Yep.
She never stays dead forever, from what I remember of like Ben's understanding of like folklore learning for Baba Yaga. She will inevitably be reborn inside her house on chicken legs.
Yep.
But well, this is what Sasha is and what Sasha does. Sasha is gonna walk over with the axe that's just been handed back to her, and is going to take Baba Yaga's hands, because those hands are tipped with iron claws. Her teeth are blunt iron, sort of tombstones and stuff like that. I'm gonna take those hands, and a strip of cloth to add to the cloak, and the hands to the cloak, because the hands are going on the shoulders, and I'm hoping that as I do so that my whispers might come back to me, because because she did something to my voice, and that voice is important to Sasha, and this is me dedicating some time to hopefully bring that voice back.
Okay. So you will actually suffer a point of corruption by doing this.
I figured.
Essentially the ichor that is within Baba Yaga itself is corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. From there, you all have the three of you have a decision as to where you need to go. Do you want to stay in the hut? Do you want to stay in the woods, or do you want to make your way to the town?
I will let them know that
Or do you want to track down Frank and Dimitri, I should say?
Oh no, they're dead to me now. They made their choice.
No.
I'm gonna go try and find them with a brace of chickens, like, you know, obviously hanging from my shoulder as I start. And as I walk quickly to try and find them, I am gonna pluck the chickens, so I've got some feathers ready for needing to use my whisper.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, "Come on, Tom.
Okay.
We have a stew to make."
I'm gonna have you make an investigation roll for whoever is trying to track down Dimitri and Frank. It's not that hard. It's like it's a target number of 2, because for a very decent amount of time, they were just making their way through the woods. They weren't actually trying to hide their tracks.
Okay, hold on, I can do that. So roll.
I'm not sure if we
good
were
at that.
Not sure if we were ever trying to hide our tracks.
Because I've got 5 left. That'll give me.
No, but
like
at some point, you did make a very conscious decision to move in a direction.
Yeah. Spend 1 on the reroll. I got 1 success. I've got 1 success.
Okay, Tom or Sasha, do either of you want to help?
Yeah, I'm. You know, I think it was good that we tried to stop stuff going down, but I don't think abandoning the guys is a good plan. So unfortunately, I do have no points in investigation, but I have a lot of guts. So I'm gonna brute force it. So that's 1 for.
All right, you've done that
one
once
for training
before and did
it.
really well.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And we're gonna go for 4 dice. I'm gonna keep one for the luck of it. So. Okay, yeah, cool. So I can use that 1 that I had left over to bump one of my 4s up to a 5. So I have a 5 and a 6. So 2 successes.
So you do meet the target number. So Edward and Tom work together to track down Dimitri and Frank. You guys are able to track them into the town.
Yeah, can we get a scene of just Frank and Dimitri talking about stuff?
Oh yeah, I was gonna flash that. So
okay, thanks.
we're going to finish up the scene, and then we'll do the rewards and stuff like that after. So, Dimitri and Frank, it's your turn now.
Frank, slow down. I'm a portly fellow.
What is wrong with her?
I don't. She's a strange one. You heard her talking about all these strange things. Frank, why do these things always happen to us when we're with those 3?
They whisper in the wind. They're strange. Wolves, I understand. Dogs, I understand.
Yes.
Being scared of a hut, I don't understand.
I don't. But these, just the queerest things always occur, especially with Edward and Sasha. Usually Edward the most, but Sasha's a strange one too. A bit of a rusalka, if you understand that term. You probably don't. But anyway,
they need to find God. They have real problems.
I understand. I agree. I can't do this anymore, Frank. I can't do this. I need to get away. This war, this front, these people, I need to get away. I think if we can find a car, a truck, a mule, anything, I think I need to leave.
Well, from Leipzig, and then Frank licks his finger and puts it up in the air and then points in a random direction. I think that's south to Switzerland. And that's north to Norway. So that's your choice.
I can't go home. I can't. If
Come on,
the
Dimitri. Come on, Dimitri.
if the Tsar or the secret police found me, they'd kill me. I'd be dead. I'd be shot as a deserter. You don't know what those people are like.
We could stay here. It's 1916. The war will be over. End of the year. We'll be fine.
They say Christmas every year, but it hasn't happened.
You just got to believe.
I think.
Come on, Dimitri. Let's go find somewhere to sit down.
I can't go north. Can't go south. Can't go west. Can't go east. There's no place to go.
We'll stay here. Leipzig is a lovely town when the shells have stopped. Frank has no knowledge of Leipzig, by the way. He's just trying to calm Dimitri down. Come on, Dimitri, we'll go. There'll be a trattoria open. We'll go get a drink. Come on, be fine. Ignore the shells, ignore the bullets. They all go.
Crystal, is there anyone here? Is there anything? What is this place that we're in like?
So the town itself actually does still have people in it. The fighting and stuff like that is mostly outside of the town, and they're basically war weary in that they're just done. They want the fighting to end. They just want their lives back. They're salty. They are very curt to soldiers on either side. They don't care who is in the town. And they do not tolerate any sort of attacks within the town. As townspeople, essentially, they will drive you out one way or another if you are like, no, we're just gonna fight here. So you're able to find like a tavern that'll let you sit, order food if you want. But nobody's really friendly. Like nobody's chatting you. Nobody, like the person who you order from is very short and essentially is only doing it to take your money.
Sure. I'll order some very bad ersatz soup as well, I think, whatever they've got left here, to give to Dimitri because, you know, food cheers you up. And I'll note that there's no chicken in the stew.
There is no chicken in here. There is one beet, one potato, and I think a quarter of a carrot.
A potato, if you are lucky. There is turnips. We are in Germany, my friend. There is turnips up the wazoo. Yeah. I will treat Dimitri. I'm trying to get Dimitri's mind off it, really.
Yep. All right. So as you guys settle down for your meal and have your discussion, Sasha, Tom, and Edward, you make your way to the town. So you know that Frank and Dimitri are in the town. And make another investigation roll.
Oh no.
All three of us this time?
If you are actively looking for Dimitri and Frank.
3 successes then.
Nice.
Okay.
3 dice. I get 2 successes because I'll spend my remaining smarts to bump those 4s to 5s.
Okay.
And I got 2 as well.
Okay. So both of you kind of are like, well, they're probably going to want food because that's where we were headed before. So you're able to kind of piece together that part of the puzzle, and then from there you kind of narrow it down to within walking distance there's this place and this place, and as you check one out, see that they're not there, you move your way to the other, and you do see them sitting within that tavern. choice is yours as to what you want to do with that information.
So Edward will head towards the tavern and get their attention as he approaches. Frank,
Right, the creepy one. Walking in
Dimitri.
with a bunch of plucked chickens.
Yeah, we food. You and also remember, I've got a bag. Yeah. Okay, we're back. Yeah. So what was I saying?
You've got a bag of something.
Bag of mushrooms.
Bag of something.
You were just holding a bag,
Bag of
like
mushrooms
this.
and the chickens, and then looks at the pot stew. Shall we get dinner going, Frank?
We've got this beautiful soup, and then looking at it, a bit of like tripe floats to the very top of the very thin stew. Let me treat you to it yourself.
How about we cook these then, and we'll use that as a starter?
We'll use it as a base. We'll use it as a base, and then before you get a chance to start on yours, Frank takes your bowl, pours it into his, and then sort of gives a customary salute to the barkeep, and then walks out with the bowl and puts a couple of coppers down on the table.
Yeah.
And then steps outside, and then gives Sasha daggers as he walks past.
Wait, is Sasha actually there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
With a pair of hands now on the shoulders of the cloak.
Yeah. What the shit?
No,
Oh my
hands
God.
that are tipped in like I believe like hooked
Yeah,
claws
you
like
know
that.
what? I think Dimitri walks out, sees that, turns, and just starts walking away.
I'm gonna go after Dimitri. Dimitri, you missed. Be thankful that you missed what you missed. It was unpleasant, but we're all here. We've got something to eat, and we need you with us. We're as much as we're a mess, we're a safer mess together than we are on our own.
I can't be around those two. Sasha's just been getting more and more twisted as this goes on. Just look at her. Look at her. She's a shrine to death. And Edward, is that how all English religious people are?
Edward's currently sipping at his bowl of tripe soup, and then is musing to himself the rhyme, "My name is Jack Gentle, the oldest but one, and I can play knick-knack upon my thumb." And it just carries on.
He's from the mainland. He's from the mainland. The Ovaners are all strange, but stick with me.
Says Mr. Webbed
Tom.
Feet there.
Tom, I think if you stay with them, you're going to turn out just the same.
I think the chicken's ready. You hear from behind.
Is definitely not. That is far too short time to be cooking chicken.
It's rare. It's good for
No!
Tom, this is it. I'm hungry. I'm going to have one last meal with the four of you. And then I'm going. I don't know where I'm going to go. Can't go home. Wars everywhere. But I'll find somewhere else to be.
War never changes.
Yeah, eat with us, and we'll maybe the directions we go will still be the same direction. No one has very many options at this point.
So Sasha's wearing these hands like epaulets, right?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
There's also 2 bodies out there somewhere that Sasha's going to go find the dog tags of at some point.
Great. I'm glad you have something to do at night.
Okay, it's getting overdone now.
Yeah, Rob, can you describe this this feast that you've made for us?
Yeah. So imagine a very thin soup, very thin, probably about 1 to 2 turnips in it. And then what Frank has done is he's got the scrawniest bits of the chicken and put them into their boiling away. So it's boiled chicken, the best type of chicken. And basically he's rendered off some of the fat at the top, but he's keeping that because that's good for candles and stuff. But it's a terrible stew. It's just a terrible, thin, bad stew. But we're also in the middle of the front, so you haven't got much to answer to compare it with. To thicken it, though, he does have some wood shavings that he puts in just to thicken it at the end, which was a common.
It
trick
is.
to do.
Hey,
It is.
So,
It's a really common trick in wartime.
yeah. So
Hey,
wood shavings.
if you use some like birch bark, it wouldn't be that bad.
It's going to be very woody.
It's
whatever.
roughage, anyway.
It's roughage,
Birch
it's
would
good
make
fun.
that so bitter. Birch
Yeah,
would make that so bitter. You would want like anything but birch. It might be
Hey.
healthier.
Welcome to Russia.
Possibly the nicest thing going on is some sauteed mushrooms, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely the highlight is mushrooms and wild garlic, but
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
stew itself is just it's a slightly thicker, almost like you put cornmeal in it, but it's not cornmeal, it's sawdust. And yeah, Frank will serve that out, and then he'll even go up to Sasha and sort of like pat her on the back and be like, "Even you crazy lady, you can have some as well," and then put it down in front of her. Come on, Dimitri, cheer up, eat some food.
I want to address something here. Not only was I right, saved your lives.
You said, what do you mean you were right?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Which
Yeah, it was a creepy freaking place, and there was weird whispers and shit, which you
And
might have
wolves.
done in the first place.
metal nails.
Yeah, that's pretty strange, but you've
Dimitri, you are Russian. You know story. Tom,
You shot a couple of Austrians and took
Listen,
their
her-
metal hands.
I've heard those stories too. If it was Baba Yaga's house, it would have been on chicken legs, and there would have been skulls out front and
Unless
stuff.
it was
I've heard-
sat down.
I've heard the stories of Vasilia the Beautiful. Okay, my babushka used to tell me.
With teeth of iron and claws of iron and riding around in giant skull. No giant skull yet.
No, it was in a pestle, a mortar and pestle she flew around in.
Nor that.
Frank and Edward, I think, should have a conversation about different cheeses, like comparing Italian cheeses to English cheeses,
Absolutely.
because it makes this crap
absolutely.
soup just seem to, like, you know, go to the back of your mind.
Yes, yeah, we're talking about favourite definitely, and Tom, you can join us as well. You can talk. We'll be chatting. Yeah, what-
We'll leave
and
the
to
Russians to
increasingly
their
irate-
Russian arguments.
Increasingly irate Russian voices.
yeah, and we're just like, you know what would be good? You're like a good hard cheddar would just really. I'm like, no, pecorino, like a little bit pecorino on the top. Yeah, let those two argue their way.
All right. So as we wrap up this scene, normally this would be the end of the mission. We are coming up on our 2.5 hours.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It is for me 1:20. So we are going to end here because I don't want to go into something and not get all the way through and leave everybody else hanging on here. So if you did not share what you left behind, would you like to do that now? Because since this is a one shot,
I think it would be cool.
I
I mean, I already shared.
I can't have
Yeah.
this be a one shot. I need to come back to Sasha.
I mean, we
Yeah.
could continue if you would like. Like, this is something that is a possibility for some people. But even if you share what it was for a mechanic that I designed so that if you died, you would give up that part of your memories
Ooh.
and forget
no.
exactly
Hupper.
what you left behind in war, and instead that is replaced with the corruption of the others. They take that so that you can continue to be their engine of war.
I will give up the memory of the best Christmas cake that my crazy grandmother, who told me all these old tales that seem to be true now, would make.
Oh.
Does anyone else want to share?
I've given up. I've given up. I've not given up. I've left behind my son, but I was open with that from the off.
I think that's everyone. I think
Yeah.
Tom,
Okay.
Tom, Sasha, and Dimitri shared theirs at the start.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's Never Going Home. I hope everyone had fun with it.
It was great.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Oh
much
my
for running
gosh.
it.
Thank
It's
you
like-
very much for running it.
It has
Really good.
definitely it's definitely got stuff I think can also inspire, and I think it gives a lot of insight and inspiration. I think the book, even if you don't play Never Going Home itself for a session, I think you can get a lot of good ideas from it for running I think closer to our heart, which is also Warhammer 40,000 roleplay. If you're just playing a bunch of Imperial Guardsmen on the front line, it's exactly the same crap, just with more corpse starch. But yeah, it's great. I love it's a really good system, and there's quite a few missions, scenarios in the core book, aren't there?
Yep.
And
Yeah, there are definitely so each of the missions has about 3 different sections or mission briefings that you go through. And I kind of skimmed through and picked some of the funner things to kind of throw at you guys,
yeah,
including Baba Yaga, who I absolutely adore. So
wicked. I mean, what'd be great? I at some point when I've got my ideas and I'm painting up other stuff, Rob, it'd be great to just custom build a bunch of minis based on the art, because that'd be cool.
Do you know what I was thinking throughout that? This in the Napoleonic Wars. would
Yes!
be
I was just thinking that,
spot
yeah.
on.
Total-
It would be
then we could go
absolutely
full on sharp.
perfect.
Sharp,
Or,
but with
or a better book. There are other books
I
about
know.
the Napoleonic Wars. Then
Yeah, just ratio hornblower.
yeah.
So
Hornblower,
I
yeah.
will say that Wet Ink Games is always looking for things to put out for Never Going Home. So while their focus is on World War I, specifically because they can, it's not a genre that is very highly touched upon by a lot of games, specifically role-playing games. There are some war games and miniature games that do touch upon it, but the role-playing aspect for World War I is fairly open. And there is so much going on. And the fact that, like, in a war, wolves can be the greater danger to your enemy. And flipping that mentality around of, I don't have to be afraid of wolves or bears. Like, the teddy bear at that point was not a thing. And bears, like, were this feared thing for a lot of people.
I think the really good
So
thing with
flipping
it,
that mentality is really cool.
the thing I was also going to say is that because a lot of when you see weird war type games, they always focus on World War II just because, I don't know, it seems popular for whatever reason. But there's so much like baggage, clearly, with that.
My God, look, book will not show for this exact reason. But yeah,
but the
prime example.
yeah, but because World War One, like everyone's in the same shit simply because, you know, Queen Victoria's grandkids are playing their little game essentially. So everyone's in the same shit for the same reasons, and you can quite happily play. I think you can quite happily play anyone from any of the nations involved in that war and get their perspective without going like, oh, do I really want to play them? It's like, actually, no, everyone's suffering the same way. So it's much more palatable.
Yeah, I think it's interesting as well because you get that two. I'm sorry, I will stop in a second, but you get that two phases where you've got 14 to 16 is the European War, and by 1917, who were the big boys on the block? The Americans and the Soviets. It's the beginning of all that. So you really have that. You get that big mix of everyone. A true world war.
Yeah.
So the scenario that we started with, Blood on the Snow, it takes place in Russia, and it does focus more on the magic aspect. And as the others, which are the supernatural beings that you are fighting against, become central to basically hearth and home worship, where they become family deities instead, and what power that worship brings with the others.
Okay. Neat. Right, I'm going to get my writing book out and start writing a scenario for this. I base it on the Angel of Mons. No one Google the Angel of Mons.
Oh, I had so much fun researching all of this and throwing stuff in here. Father Frost is in here. Rasputin has a very, very cool twist with him as well. Rasputin's in here. We didn't touch upon him. But yeah, not every cleric is a good cleric.
Excellent.
Most aren't.
Right. Things to wrap up then with. I think, Mike, we've got some episodes of Dark Days Radio where we interviewed the guys from Wet Ink Games, talking about about I think this, along with Into the Wild, Weird and Wild, which is, I think it's gone out to, most of it's gone out to backers, so I think you can mostly now pick up the PDF at least on Drive-Thru RPG if you want to see some more work from Wet Ink Games. Obviously tune into Dark Days Radio because we've got tons and tons of episodes of various about horror games in general and guidance, and so a lot of that will work into running this because war is a difficult thing. You might find some inspiration because I'm sure we've talked about Wraith the Great War at some point, haven't we, Mike? No, we haven't.
I don't think so. I don't think so. We did have the War in the World of Darkness episode where you covered Dogs of War for Chronicles of Darkness, as well as Wrath and Glory. We were just kind of talking about in general. It is a topic that we touch upon because it's one of the most horrific acts of mankind, which you can't explore in your tabletop role playing games. And I feel that amongst others, Never Going Home really does a great job of that.
Yeah. Obviously, if you've been watching this or you watch it back later, follow the links and donate to the Badana group. I know it's a bit difficult right now because it's mostly at the wrong time of day for people to be watching it. If you're in the US, that's most of the people that will be paying a little bit more attention. But still, please donate. The links are there. The links are in the stream chat. The links will be on Dark Days Radio, or at least we'll link to that. Or on Twitter.
I will be on panels tomorrow for it.
Yes.
Talking about games that inspire, as well as imposter syndrome and how it affects people.
Yeah. Cool. And I think there's been other panels. I think there's been some Onyx Path stuff. So I think Eddie Webb's been chatting about things, and there's been all the typical stuff, all the team from that chatting about their work. So that's cool.
Our Tiltify link, I think we're going to keep it for all year, right? And we'll just throw it into our link tree.
We'll just check it into the link tree.
Yeah. So if you can't donate now and you can donate later, you can definitely do that. At your convenience.
Yeah. And I think that's it for now. So again, thank you for everyone for taking part. Thank you for watching when you watch, and thank you, Crystal, for running us through this scenario and through the game. And we'll be back with something fun on the stream at a later date. I think we'll be back in We're back
Week's time.
next week. We're definitely back next week with Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition as we start the next story of our chronicle. So
24-hour party monsters.
yeah. So with that, we'll say goodbye for now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.